At first it was great, you know, like we would go film and like, you know, he really held it down. He got footage, he got tricks, like every time, like he just fell into that lifestyle, that routine of being a persona. But he lost track of how he got there, you know. Yeah, I'd been hearing about this dude Chris, you know, like in Tokyo, he was turning a lot of heads, you know, like I'd heard a lot about him, and then I was at this party, right, and you know, I met him, and well, first I was like, who's this guy? Like, first of all, he's hitting on my sister, and then I'm like, this dude's got a mustache, and that's just not cool with me, you know.
I think the first time I met Chris Main, we were skating some slippery ledges at some Tokyo spot, and he was doing some tricks. I thought he's kind of good. And then the second time I saw him in Tamachi, and he was just killing it, just doing every trick on the big ledge. And afterwards, we went out drinking, became good friends, and yeah, we've been pretty tight ever since.
Met Chris Main about 5 years ago at the Hashimoto skate park. I went there to kind of, you know, market my stuff and see what new talent's out there. And I saw this foreign guy, his name's Chris Main, and we hit it off quick, and his tricks were awesome. Had to hook him up quick.
So when I saw him, I was like, dude, he was flagrant, you know, he was flagrant on my sister. I can't let that pass, and you know, he apologized. He was super cool about the whole thing, you know, he's like, man, I was drunk, you know, I'm new in Tokyo and all this, and I'm having a hard time settling in, and he gave me this real talk, and you know, I went for it, and then we just skated, you know, and he was ripping, man. He was cool as fuck.
Chris is skating, man, sick as fuck. I mean, it speaks for itself, you know, just the way, like, watching him learn a new trick, his thought process, you know, flipping and spinning the board around, and then he just does it soon after that.
Well, like the first day we skated, like, man, I was blown away. Like, the dude, he had such raw talent. Like, he wasn't skating like everybody else. He was doing his own thing, you know, but it wasn't like some, he wasn't playing some angle where he's trying to, like, pull some mainstream industry skate shit. Like, he wasn't dressed up all stupid with fucking tassels and bandanas and all this, and he wasn't, like, doing some whack shit, you know. He was just holding it down with an original style, but he made it work, you know. He pulled the whole thing together. It's like he had this, and then he had that, and then he mixed it up into this some oh shit, like, what's this dude doing? What's he gonna do next? He had everybody on their toes talking about, oh, what's he gonna do next?
You know, recently my shop's got a lot of popularity since it opened in Tokyo, and you know, I hook up the best. I hooked up Chris because he was the best. And, you know, after I hooked him up, you know, for a short time, you know, everything was going all right, you know. Footy was coming in. He was really down to earth.
Well, he got hooked up because his skating was raw, you know. It's like everybody, you know, respected, like, the raw talent, and they could see it. Everyone else is just like, you know, they're putting their heart and soul into this, and he was just making it look like, you know, just child's play. Like, you know, he really held it down. He got footage, he got tricks, like, every time.
shortly after that, things just started going downhill in a bad way. You know, he started, partying, drinking, drugs, fighting.
I heard he got hooked up by the shop, and since then I just heard he just flipped, and he's been real cold to everybody since then. He's always out drinking, partying, getting into trouble, you know.
He got on with the shops. He got, a little recognition here and there, and people started inviting him to whatever, like this and that event.
And then, it just started going more and more downhill. He would show up at the shop less and less. Footy stopped coming in. And then eventually, he just fell off the fucking face of earth.
I'd say for me, it's for the worst because we didn't get to skate that much anymore. I'd try to call him to skate. He'd never come out. He's always doing his own thing. So since then, he's just changed, man, just since he got hooked up.
He was in there, it's like he got his foot in the door, and then he put his foot in his mouth, and then he shot himself in the foot while it was in his mouth, like dumb shit.
Later, I don't know, I heard some, fucked up stories from parties and stuff. I'm not even gonna go into that.
Well, oh man, it got wild. I mean, I'm not gonna try to put it all on Chris, I was getting wild too, and I had a dildo laying around. I'm not gonna beat around the bush about it. But so we're partying, and Chris, he thought it was funny, like he had this dildo and he kept hitting people in the face with it, right? And it was hot. It was hot out. We had the windows open, and he threw this dildo at somebody. They ducked. There was a little ricochet involved, like some off the forearm, and the fucking thing just flew out the window, right? Out into traffic, I lived on the 4th floor. So, yeah, he goes downstairs to get this shit, and he doesn't run it back up the fucking stairs like, anybody with, in their right mind would do. He fucking throws the thing back through the window, right, into the party. We're standing there, we're chilling. We're already like, man, fuck this dude. He's throwing dildos and shit. From, at close range as that can happen. But from a distance, and he's got a huck it from the street level. And we're chilling, and then this fucking dildo just flies in and just fucking, dude, just like my homie's chilling, and just fucking chili dog just fucking wrecks him right in the chest. I heard stories oh, he's in Phoenix, and then oh, he's in fucking Timbuktu or wherever, he's at 5th and Japip. Everybody had a different theory, or where I saw Chris here, my friend saw him, or all this, oh, he's got new footage but nobody's got it. However that makes sense, they got it but they don't.
I don't know, man. He could be anywhere. I hope he's skating, but I don't know. Whatever. Maybe he'll show up someday.
But he's a smart kid. He's a really smart kid, and I think he realized what's going on in his life. And I figure, in my opinion, he's just clearing his head. He's somewhere clearing his head, getting his shit straight, and then maybe he'll come back on the scene soon. I hope. We need him.
I'm not so proud of it, but I kind of blew up on the dude, maybe that's why he left, I gotta live with that, I after all this stuff happened, he's just, yeah, he was just gone, man. Nobody's heard from him, just puff of smoke,
Fuck it.
I think about him now and then. It's cold, damp November in my soul.